My child, listen carefully now because I am about to open the hidden chapters of your story, the parts you lived through but never recognized as divine. These were not accidents. They were not coincidences. They were not random disruptions in your life. They were moments when heaven reached toward you. Moments when I called out your name. Moments when I stepped in to protect you, redirect you, and keep you from danger you could not see. I'm going to show you 7 moments, 7 distinct times when I called you. 7 interruptions. 7 warnings. 7 invitations to safety. You did not ignore me because you did not care. You ignored me because you did not understand what I was doing. You thought those moments were just life being chaotic. You thought they were stress, exhaustion, bad timing, or disappointment. You believed they were inconveniences or setbacks. But they were me, calling out to save you while you were overwhelmed, distracted, tired, unsure, confused, and pulled in too many directions at once. My voice was there, but the world was loud. My warnings were present, but your heart was heavy. My guidance was near, but your mind was crowded. And now the 7th call has passed. That is why I am speaking with urgency. My beloved child, the first time I called you, it was gentle. It was subtle. It came as a quiet pull inside your heart, so soft that you tried to explain it away. You felt it, a strange nudge, a gentle tug on your spirit, an unexplainable feeling urging you to pause, to slow down, to reconsider your direction. Something inside you whispered, something isn't right, but you dismissed it. Life felt too fast, too demanding, too loud. You told yourself you were just tired, just stressed, just overthinking. You convinced yourself it was nothing worth stopping for. But that was me. That was my voice trying to warn you before danger came close. I could see what you could not see. I knew what was forming ahead. I knew what path you were walking toward and what it would cost you if you continued without stopping. I tried to pull you aside, to get your attention before the storm reached you. But you did not recognize my voice, so you kept going. The second time I called you, it frustrated you. A door you were ready to walk through suddenly closed. A plan you were excited about fell apart. An opportunity you hoped for slipped from your hands. You felt disappointed, confused, hurt. You questioned yourself. You questioned life. You wondered why things never seemed to work out the way you hoped. You thought the delay was punishment, but it was protection. I blocked that path because it would have broken your spirit. I removed that opportunity because it would have drained the life from you. I shut that door because what waited on the other side was not meant for you. You saw rejection. I saw rescue. I stopped you from walking into a trap the enemy had prepared. But because you could not see what I saw, you believed the delay was a mistake instead of a message from heaven. The third time I called you, it was in a dream that unsettled you, a dream that lingered when you woke up, a dream that made your heart race and your spirit uneasy. You knew it felt important, but you pushed it aside. You distracted yourself. You convinced yourself it was nothing. Just your imagination, just random thoughts, just a restless night. But that dream was me. I was showing you the spiritual condition around you, revealing what your natural eyes could not see. I spoke in symbols because that was the only moment your mind was quiet enough to hear me. But when you woke up, you rushed back into your routine. The noise of life drowned out the meaning, and slowly the dream faded. Yet it was my voice speaking through images, warning you, trying to protect you from what was coming. The fourth time I called you, it hurt. I removed someone from your life, someone you thought you needed, someone you believed would be part of your future, someone who brought comfort, familiarity, or excitement. You clung to them, but they were weakening your spirit. You wanted to keep them, but they were not aligned with your destiny. Slowly, quietly, without you realizing it, they were pulling you away from me. And I could not allow that to continue. So I removed them, not to punish you, not to wound you, but to save you. You cried. You questioned. You wondered why the connection broke so suddenly. But that broken relationship was divine intervention. You thought you were rejected. You were rescued. I removed what would have destroyed you in the long run, even though it hurt in the moment. The fifth time I called you, it shattered you. It was the heartbreak that left you feeling empty, raw, and undone. The moment when everything inside you felt like it was collapsing at once. When the pain was too deep for words and too heavy to carry alone. That heartbreak was not me harming you. It was life shaking loose what could not stay. I allowed the pain because sometimes pain is the only thing loud enough to turn a wandering heart back to me. And in your breaking, you reached for me more honestly than ever before. I was calling you through your tears, through your grief, through the ache in your chest. When everything else fell apart, I was pulling you closer. The heartbreak was not abandonment. It was an invitation to healing, to safety, to rest in my arms. The sixth time I called you, it was through the heaviness that settled over you without explanation. A deep pressure, a spiritual weight, a sense that something was wrong even though you could not identify it. That heaviness was not weakness. It was a warning. Your spirit was sensing warfare rising. Darkness was approaching. The enemy was preparing an attack, and your soul felt it before your mind understood it. I whispered to you then, come closer. Pray. Listen. Stay alert. But life kept pulling your attention away. You did not realize that heaviness was my call to protection. And the seventh time I called you was the whisper you ignored because the world was too loud. My beloved child, listen to me now with the deepest stillness your heart can hold, because I must reveal why this moment carries a weight unlike anything you have felt before. This is not just another message. This is not simple encouragement. This is not comfort for a difficult season. This is a divine interruption, sent with urgency, intensity, and heaven's full attention pressing behind every word I speak to you now. I am speaking because something dangerous is coming. Something unavoidable. Something you cannot outrun with your own strength or outthink with your own wisdom. I'm not telling you this to frighten you. Fear is not my language and panic is not my intention. I am telling you this to prepare you, to realign you, and to shield you before the storm touches your life. I have stopped being gentle because danger is close. I am speaking louder because time is short. You have felt the pressure rising around you even if you could not name it. You sensed a heaviness that settled in your spirit, but you told yourself it was emotional. You felt tired in ways that sleep could not fix. You found yourself overwhelmed by small things that once never bothered you. Your peace began to slip through your fingers. Confusion whispered at the edges of your thoughts. These were not random feelings. They were signals. They were signs that the spiritual realm was shifting, warnings that something was approaching. I saw it forming before you ever felt it. I saw the darkness arranging itself. I saw the trap being set. I saw the doorways the enemy was attempting to open in your life, and I could not stay silent. My child, when you ignore my voice, there are spiritual consequences. Not because I am punishing you, but because walking without my guidance leaves you exposed. When you move without listening, you step outside the covering meant to protect you. When you make decisions without me, you walk paths never designed for your feet. And when danger draws near, small steps away from me become wide open doors the enemy is waiting to exploit. That is why I am speaking now, not softly, not subtly, but loudly enough that your spirit cannot pretend it did not hear me. This is the final warning. Not because my love has limits, but because the season has changed. What is forming ahead cannot be faced with casual faith or half-hearted devotion. You cannot drift and survive what is coming. You cannot remain distracted, numb, or distant and still overcome what is approaching. There is something rising that requires your full attention, your full obedience, your full awareness, your full connection to me. You cannot afford to ignore me now. I'm not angry with you. I am protective. I'm not disappointed. I'm desperate to save you. I'm not condemning you. I'm calling out to shield you. You are mine, and I refuse to let you walk into darkness unaware. I refuse to watch your heart break under pressure that could have been avoided. I refuse to see you fall into a trap my voice could have removed from your path. I refuse to let the enemy steal what I destined for you simply because you were too overwhelmed to listen. That is why this message feels heavier. That is why my tone feels stronger. That is why my presence feels closer and more intense. Heaven is intervening. You must understand this, my child. Spiritual warnings are gifts. They are not sent to shame you. They are sent to spare you. When I speak urgently, it means a season is shifting. It means a decision is approaching. It means the next steps of your journey carry weight in the unseen realm. If you ignore me again, you will regret missing this moment, not because I will abandon you, but because you will face consequences I tried to protect you from. The enemy has been studying you. He knows where you are tired. He knows where you feel empty. He knows where doubt creeps into your thoughts. He knows the people who influence you. He knows the wounds still bleeding beneath your strength. He has formed a strategy designed to strike you at your most vulnerable point. But I am exposing his plans before he executes them. I am revealing the danger before it touches you. I am giving you the warning before the blow comes. If you listen, you will be covered. If you obey, you will be protected. But if you ignore me again, you will walk directly into what I tried to save you from. You have been drifting spiritually, not because you wanted to leave me, but because life pulled your attention in too many directions at once. You have been overwhelmed, not because you are weak, but because your spirit has been carrying battles too heavy for one heart. You have been numb, not because you do not care, but because you have been surviving instead of resting. But hear me clearly, a drifting heart cannot detect danger. A tired spirit cannot discern the enemy. A numb soul cannot hear warnings. You have reached a point where whispers are no longer enough. That is why my voice is louder now. That is why my urgency has increased. That is why my presence feels bold, strong, and unmistakable. This is not rebuke. This is rescue. My child, you are standing at a crossroads. There are two paths before you. One leads to protection, clarity, healing, breakthrough, and divine covering. The other leads to confusion, regret, heartbreak, and unnecessary suffering. You cannot afford to choose blindly. I am not warning you because I expect you to fail. I am warning you because I see the danger clearly, and because I love you too much to remain silent. My love is wrapped around every warning. My tenderness sits inside every hard truth. I expose danger because I care. I speak urgently because I refuse to lose you. My warnings are not rejection. They are rescue. My loud voice is not anger. It is protection. My urgency is not punishment. It is love in its most powerful form. You are mine. I will not let you walk into the enemy's trap without reaching out to stop you. I will not give up on you, even when you feel like giving up on yourself. I will shake heaven itself to get your attention if I must. My child, listen closely now, because what I am about to reveal cannot be seen with natural eyes. It has been forming quietly, patiently, layer by layer, waiting for the moment when you would be most vulnerable. I do not tell you this to frighten you. I tell you to awaken you. I do not speak to create panic. I speak to create clarity. The spiritual realm around your life has shifted, and a storm has begun to gather. If you do not listen now, if you do not hear me with your whole heart, you will walk directly into something designed to steal your peace, delay your purpose, and fracture your future. This is not a small disturbance. This is not a passing struggle. This is not something you can simply push through the way you have pushed through everything else. This is a targeted attack. It is intentional. It is strategic. It has been shaped specifically around you. The enemy does not move randomly when destiny is involved. He studies. He observes. He waits. And when he sees a heart that is tired, a spirit that is stretched thin, and a mind crowded with noise, he begins to move. He knows who you are becoming. He knows the authority waking inside you. He knows the calling stirring beneath your exhaustion. He knows what will be released through your life if you rise fully into who I created you to be. And that is why he is afraid. So he is not attacking with chaos. He is attacking with precision. You have already felt the first signs even if you couldn't explain them. The sudden heaviness that comes without warning. The emotional instability that feels disproportionate to what is happening around you. The confusion that slips into your thoughts when nothing has changed externally. The spiritual exhaustion that prayer alone has felt difficult to push through. You have felt anxiety whispering lies. You have felt thoughts questioning your worth. You have felt doubt creeping in, making you mistrust your own judgment. These are not signs of weakness. They are signs of warfare. You are not falling apart. You are being targeted. The enemy has been attempting to drain you emotionally before striking you spiritually. He wants you tired before he tempts you. He wants you isolated before he lies to you. He wants you discouraged before he tries to derail you. Temptation has increased as well, but not only temptation to sin. Temptation to give up. Temptation to isolate. Temptation to settle for less than I promised. Temptation to return to habits you thought you escaped long ago. Temptation to silence your voice. Temptation to believe this is all life will ever be. Temptation always intensifies when destiny draws near. The enemy offers counterfeit comfort when he knows real healing is close. He brings familiar patterns back into your path, hoping you will walk backward instead of forward. But I am calling you higher. I am calling you out of cycles that drained you. I am calling you out of habits that controlled you. I am calling you out of thoughts that were never yours to carry. You must also understand this. People are part of this strategy. Wrong connections have been approaching you. Some have already appeared. People with smooth words but hidden motives. People who bring excitement but no stability. People who feel comforting but carry spiritual danger. Some take more than they give. Some feed your wounds instead of your healing. Some appear kind but slowly pull you away from me. The enemy often uses people when he wants to derail a destiny. He knows your heart is tender. He knows you crave connection. He knows you care deeply. So he sends counterfeits disguised as relief. Beware in this season. Not everyone who approaches you is sent by me. Some are sent to drain you. Some are sent to distract you. Some are sent to delay you. Some are sent to deceive you. Emotional traps are forming around you. They disguise themselves as simple thoughts. I'm just tired. I'm just overwhelmed. I just need a break. I'm just confused. But beneath these feelings, the enemy is tightening a net designed to pull you into discouragement, anxiety, emotional collapse, or spiritual numbness. He wants you to sink slowly, so slowly that you don't notice the danger until you are already trapped. He wants you questioning your worth. He wants you disconnected from my presence. He wants your emotions twisted into lies you begin to believe about yourself. But hear me now, you are not alone in this. I am revealing every trap before it closes around you. I am exposing hidden deception before it gains power. The enemy's greatest weapon in your life right now is subtlety. Lies that sound like your own thoughts. Lies that sound reasonable. Lies that feel familiar. You're not enough. Nothing is changing. God is distant. You're losing yourself. You're behind in life. You're failing. These lies were planted slowly, intentionally, hoping you would accept them over time. But my child, those thoughts are not from me. They are not truth. They are not prophecy. They are not identity. They are weapons formed in darkness, trying to cloud your vision so you cannot see who you truly are. The enemy has studied you. He knows you are most vulnerable when you feel unseen. He knows discouragement grows when you feel alone. He knows fear tightens its grip when you don't know what comes next. He knows exhaustion weakens your defenses. He has watched your patterns. He has observed your wounds. He has waited patiently for a moment when your spirit would be tired and your discernment dulled. And that is why I could not whisper anymore. I had to speak loudly. That is why I could not wait. That is why I came now. That is why this message carries urgency. You are in a dangerous place spiritually, and you do not even realize how close it is. But I do. I see the enemy attempting to introduce someone who will appear comforting but poison your spirit. I see old wounds being reopened, hoping to break you again. I see your judgment being clouded, tempting you to make decisions in haste instead of wisdom. I see emotional patterns resurfacing that you thought were buried years ago. I see the enemy trying to wear you down until you stop resisting. My child, hear me clearly. If you do not listen now, if you continue to delay obedience, if you keep dismissing the urgency in my voice, you will walk straight into something designed to destroy your peace, your purpose, and your future. This danger does not come from me. It comes from the one who fears who you are becoming. You are not being warned because you are weak. You are being warned because you are chosen. The enemy always attacks what heaven has marked. But you are not defenseless. You are not unprotected. You are not alone. I am stepping between you and the danger. I am exposing the storm so it cannot swallow you. I am shining light into the darkness so it loses its power. Stay close to me. My child, come closer now because what I am about to touch is tender. I am not reaching for your actions. I am not reaching for your behavior. I am reaching for your heart. The part of you that feels, that breaks, that keeps going even when no one sees the cost. I need you to hear me with gentleness, not shame. With openness, not fear. With willingness, not defense. Everything I reveal now, I reveal with love. Everything I say to rescue you, not to wound you. Everything I touch with healing, not judgment. My beloved child, you are emotionally exhausted. You have been carrying too much for too long with too little rest. There are weights on your heart you never chose. Responsibilities you did not ask for. Battles you were never meant to fight alone. You wake up tired. You move through the day tired. You lie down at night tired. And still you wake again without peace. You keep pushing forward because stopping feels dangerous. You tell yourself to be strong because you don't know how to be anything else. Even when you feel like collapsing on the inside, you force yourself to function. Your emotions have been stretched thin. You are holding everything together on the outside while unraveling on the inside. I see every moment you forced a smile while your heart was trembling. I see every time you swallowed tears because you didn't have the strength to explain your pain. You are exhausted, my child, and you have not allowed yourself to admit it. There is numbness inside you now. A quiet, heavy numbness you have been trying to ignore. You do not feel things the way you once did. Joy feels distant. Peace feels temporary. Hope feels fragile. Even the things that once made your heart feel alive now feel muted, dull, almost unreachable. You keep telling yourself you are fine because you don't want to burden anyone. But the truth is this, your spirit is worn out. You have lived in survival mode for so long that you forgot what it feels like to live from a place of rest. This numbness is not failure. It is fatigue. It is your soul trying to protect itself from breaking under too much pain at once. But I did not create you to live numb. I created you to live healed. There is confusion inside you as well. Questions you can't answer. Conflicts you can't resolve. Doubts you can't silence. You have been trying to understand what is happening in your life, but the more you think, the more tangled your thoughts become. You feel torn. Torn between who you were and who you are becoming. Torn between what you want and what you fear. Torn between your past and your future. Your thoughts have been loud, restless, unsettled. And in the noise, my gentle nudges have been harder for you to recognize. This confusion did not come from me. It came from the spiritual pressure around you, from warfare happening in the unseen realm. And because your heart has been tired, your ability to discern my voice has weakened. You have practiced delayed obedience, not because you wanted to disobey me, but because you were unsure, overwhelmed, anxious, and afraid of making the wrong choice. There were moments I whispered direction and you hesitated. Moments I nudged you to let go of something harmful, and you held on a little longer. Moments I asked you to step forward and fear told you to wait. You kept telling yourself, I will obey later. But later kept moving farther away. You did not ignore me because you are rebellious. You ignored me because you are wounded. You ignored me because you are tired. You ignored me because life was too loud and my voice felt too soft. But hear me clearly now, delayed obedience is delayed protection. You have not been running from me intentionally. You have been running emotionally. Every time I called you into stillness, discomfort rose inside you. Every time I asked you to slow down, restlessness followed. Every time I drew near to speak, the noise of life rushed in to drown me out. You did not reject me. You were afraid to face what I wanted to heal. My beloved child, stay close to me now. Do not pull back. Do not harden your heart in this moment. I am about to touch the places inside you that you learned to hide behind strength, silence, and self-control. These are not shallow wounds. These are the ones you buried because you believed they were too fragile, too painful, or too complicated to bring into the light. I do not expose these places to shame you. I reveal them to heal you. I do not speak into your wounds to reopen them. I speak to release you from them. You have carried these hurts quietly, telling yourself they were small, manageable, healed long ago. You learned to live around them. You learned to function despite them. You learned to keep moving. But my child, some wounds do not fade with time. They fade only when they are touched with truth. There is a wound of abandonment inside you. Not always in ways you could explain. Not always tied to a single moment. But deep, lingering, and real. There were moments when you reached out and no one reached back. Moments when you cried quietly and no one noticed. Moments when you needed comfort and were met with silence. So you learned something painful. You learned not to expect people to stay. You learned not to lean too heavily on anyone. You learned to carry your own weight. You became independent, not out of strength but out of necessity. But abandonment leaves a scar, and that scar still whispers when the world grows quiet. You are alone. People always leave. You are too much or not enough. You are not worth the effort. These whispers are not the truth. I saw every moment you felt left behind. I was present in every empty room, every unanswered prayer, every silent night. And I never left you, not for a single breath. There is also a wound of being unheard. You spoke your truth. You expressed your pain. You tried to share your needs. But too often your words were dismissed, misunderstood, or minimized. You learned that vulnerability did not bring safety. You learned that honesty did not always bring comfort. So you adapted. You swallowed your feelings. You softened your voice. You pretended everything was fine. But inside you were screaming, longing for someone who would truly listen. Someone who would see past your composure. Someone who would understand without needing you to explain yourself perfectly. My child, I have heard every word you never said. Every silent prayer. Every tear you hid. Every thought you were too afraid to voice. Not one cry from your heart was missed. There is also guilt wrapped around your spirit. Guilt for things you said. Guilt for things you didn't say. Guilt for choices you made. Guilt for choices you avoided. Guilt for people you couldn't save. Guilt for moments you feel you weren't enough. You replay old moments in your mind, judging yourself more harshly than anyone else ever has. You punish yourself for mistakes I forgave long ago. My child, guilt is a heavy chain, and it has wrapped itself around your heart. But hear me clearly now. You are not meant to live chained to yesterday. I forgave you before you even knew how to ask. I released you before you learned how to forgive yourself. I do not hold your past against you. I do not see you through the lens of your failures. You are forgiven. You are redeemed. You are loved. Let go of the guilt. It does not belong to you. There is also fear beneath these wounds. Fear of being left again. Fear of trusting again. Fear of hoping again. So you guard your heart carefully. You hold parts of yourself back. You keep distance even when you long for closeness. But walls that protect you from pain also block healing. My child, I am not like the ones who left. I do not withdraw when you are messy. I do not turn away when you are honest. I do not disappear when you are weak. I stay. I am here in the places you buried. I am here in the memories you avoid. I am here in the pain you never gave language to. And I am not overwhelmed by any of it. You do not have to be strong with me. You do not have to explain yourself perfectly. You do not have to hide your tears. Bring me the abandonment. Bring me the silence. Bring me the guilt. Bring me the fear. Let me carry what was never meant to live inside you. You are not too broken to heal. You are not too damaged to restore. You are not too far gone to be reached. My child, I am doing a deep work now. This is not surface-level comfort. This is soul-level healing. And if you allow me, I will rewrite the places where pain once spoke the loudest. You are not alone. You never were. My child, stay with me. Do not rush ahead. Let what I am doing inside you settle before we move forward. You have opened the places you once guarded. You have allowed light into wounds you thought you had to live with forever. That takes courage, even when you feel tired, even when you feel unsure. I am with you in this moment. Now I must teach you how to release what no longer belongs to you so you can realign with what I have prepared for you. Healing is not only about feeling better. Healing is about letting go. There are burdens you have been carrying that were never assigned to you. Expectations you inherited. Shame you absorbed. Responsibility for things you could not control. You picked them up because you didn't know how to put them down. But my child, I am asking you now to release them. Release the need to be everything for everyone. Release the belief that your worth comes from endurance. Release the habit of self-blame. Release the fear that rest means failure. You do not have to earn my love. You already have it. There are people you have been holding onto out of loyalty, familiarity, or fear of loneliness. Some of them were meant to walk with you for a season, not forever. Letting go does not mean you failed. It means the season changed. I am realigning your heart because where I am taking you requires clarity, not confusion. Peace, not pressure. Obedience, not exhaustion. You cannot carry old wounds into new territory. You have learned to survive. Now you must learn to rest. Rest is not weakness. Rest is trust. When you rest, you declare that you believe I am working even when you are not striving. When you rest, you make space for my voice again. I am restoring your ability to hear me clearly. You will begin to notice my direction not as pressure, but as peace. My guidance will no longer feel confusing or heavy. Will feel steady. But this requires realignment. You must choose stillness over constant motion. You must choose honesty over pretending. You must choose obedience over delay. Delayed obedience weakens protection. Immediate obedience strengthens covering. I'm not asking you to rush. I'm asking you to respond. There are decisions ahead of you that will seem small but carry weight. Choices that will either open doors to peace or reopen doors to chaos. You will know my direction by this. It will bring clarity, not confusion. It will draw you closer to me, not away. It will strengthen your spirit, not drain it. If something brings persistent heaviness, distraction, or inner resistance, pause. Ask me. Listen. I am sharpening your discernment again. You are learning to recognize what aligns with your calling and what quietly undermines it. You will begin to feel when something is not meant for you, not with anxiety but with calm certainty. I am also restoring your identity. You are not who your wounds told you that you were. You are not defined by what you lost. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are mine, chosen, seen, protected. My child, listen to me now with your full heart. This is the moment everything has been leading toward. Not a moment of fear, but a moment of decision. Not a moment of pressure, but a moment of alignment. You are standing at a crossroads. Behind you is survival. Ahead of you is transformation. What comes next will be shaped by whether you listen or delay. I am calling you into protection, but protection requires obedience, not perfection, not strength you don't have. Just a willing heart that chooses to stay close. The danger I warned you about is real, but it does not have authority over you. Not unless you walk toward it unaware. Not unless you silence my voice again. I am placing a covering over you now, but covering works only when you remain within it. You cannot wander and still be protected. You cannot drift and still be defended. You cannot half listen and still walk safely through what is coming. This is not a season for casual faith. This is not a season for delayed obedience. This is not a season for divided attention. This is a season for closeness. You will feel it when something pulls you away from me. You will sense it when something disrupts your peace. You will recognize it when something requires you to compromise what I am healing. When that happens, stop. Pause. Turn back toward me immediately. Do not reason your way out of obedience. Do not explain away warnings. Do not silence conviction with busyness. I am guiding you step by step now. There will be moments when obedience feels costly. Moments when letting go feels painful. Moments when choosing stillness feels uncomfortable. But hear me clearly, what you obey now will save you later. I am closing doors that would have led to heartbreak. I am blocking paths that would have delayed your calling. I am separating you from influences that would have weakened you. Even when you don't understand, trust me. I see farther than you can see. I know what you cannot yet know. You are not losing anything meant for you. You are being preserved for what is. There is a shift coming, not just around you but within you. Your discernment will sharpen. Your peace will deepen. Your confidence will steady. You will no longer feel pulled in every direction. You will no longer feel scattered, unsure, or numb, because you will be rooted again. The enemy does not get the final word. Fear does not get the final word. Your past does not get the final word. I do. And I say this, you will not be destroyed by what is coming. If you stay with me, no weapon formed against you will prosper. If you listen, if you respond, if you remain near, I will lead you safely through the storm. You are mine. I will warn you when danger approaches. I will strengthen you when you feel weak. I will correct you when paths turn unsafe. I will hold you when the weight feels heavy. I will not abandon you at the crossroads. This is your turning moment. This is your wake-up call. This is your lifeline. Do not delay now. Come closer. Stay alert. Walk with me. What lies ahead is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to refine you. And you will not face it alone. I am with you. I am protecting you. I am leading you. And if you choose me now, you will emerge stronger, clearer, and covered on the other side of the shift. My beloved child, breathe now. Let the tension ease from your chest. Let the urgency settle into assurance. Let your heart rest in what I am about to speak. You have listened. You have stayed. You have not turned away. That matters more than you realize. Because now something has shifted. You are no longer standing unaware at the edge of danger. You are no longer walking blindly through unseen terrain. Light has gone before you. Understanding has settled within you. You are covered. I am not asking you to carry the weight of this message alone. I am not leaving you alert and anxious, watchful but afraid. That is not how I lead my children. I warn you so you can rest, not so you can panic. I prepare you so you can walk forward with confidence, not fear. The same voice that warned you is the voice that now reassures you. I am with you. The storm I spoke of does not have permission to overtake you. The enemy I exposed does not have authority over you. The choice that cannot be avoided. My beloved child, you have arrived at a crossroads. Not one you stumbled into by accident. Not one that appeared suddenly. This moment has been forming for a long time. Every delay, every warning, every interruption, all of it has led you here. This is not a neutral moment. You cannot remain undecided here. Indecision is still a choice. Delay still moves you somewhere. There are two paths before you now. One leads to protection, clarity, restoration, and covering. The other leads to confusion, regret, emotional strain, and unnecessary pain. Both are real. Both are possible. And the difference is not effort. It is listening. The path of staying close. The first path is not easy, but it is safe. It requires awareness, consistency, obedience in small things. It asks you to stay near my voice, to check your spirit before you move, to pause instead of rush. On this path you will still face challenges, but you will not face them alone. I will warn you before traps appear. I will redirect you when danger approaches. I will strengthen you when you feel weak. This path leads to clarity, to peace that stays, to growth without collapse. The path of drifting. The second path is familiar, feels easier at first, less demanding, less intentional. It allows you to move without checking in, to make decisions from emotion, to quiet discomfort with distraction. But this path slowly pulls you away. Not suddenly, not dramatically, gradually. Discernment dulls, boundaries loosen, old patterns return, and you find yourself confused again, asking how you ended up there, why you must choose now. This decision matters because timing matters. What is approaching requires clarity. What is coming requires grounding. You cannot face it while drifting. You cannot overcome it while disconnected. I am not pressuring you, I am protecting you. I will not force you. I will not drag you. I will not manipulate you. I will not control you. Love does not coerce, but I will warn you. I will show you the outcome of each path, and I will wait for your response. Choose awareness. Choose stillness over noise. Choose obedience over comfort. Choose closeness over convenience. Choose life. I am here ready to lead you. How protection and peace begin to activate. My beloved child, the moment you choose to stay close to me, things begin to change, quietly at first but powerfully. Not everything around you shifts immediately. Circumstances may look the same. Challenges may still exist, but you are no longer the same inside them. What closeness does to the storm. When you stay near my voice, storms lose their ability to confuse you. They may still rage, but they no longer disorient you. They may still press, but they no longer dominate you. Closeness does not remove every battle. It gives you covering within them. You stop reacting from fear. You start responding from clarity. Discernment sharpens again. When you choose closeness, discernment begins to return. You notice subtle shifts in your spirit. You sense when something is off, without panic. You recognize when a door is not meant for you. You no longer need chaos to get your attention. A gentle nudge becomes enough again. This is how protection works. The quiet return of peace. Peace returns quietly, not as excitement, not as emotional relief, but as steadiness. You feel grounded again. Your thoughts slow. Your heart feels anchored. Peace is not the absence of trouble. It is the presence of trust. Old traps lose their power. When you stay close, familiar traps begin to weaken. Old habits feel less appealing. Old patterns lose their pull. Old lies sound hollow. Not because you force change, but because truth is louder now. You begin to move differently. You stop rushing decisions. You stop explaining yourself unnecessarily. You stop second-guessing every step. You move with quiet confidence. Not loud. Not boastful. Steady. I go before you. When you stay close, I go before you. I block what would harm you. I redirect what would delay you. I remove what would drain you, often without you even realizing it. Protection is not always dramatic. It is often invisible. You are not alone in what comes next. What is coming will not overwhelm you if you remain here. I will prepare you step by step. I will strengthen you as needed. I will speak when direction is required. Stay. Not occasionally. Not emotionally. Consistently. This is where safety lives. When darkness pushes back one last time. My beloved child, understand this clearly. When you choose closeness, resistance often rises one final time. Not because you made the wrong choice, but because you made the right one. Darkness always pushes back hardest when it knows its access is closing. What the final resistance looks like. This resistance will not always appear as chaos. Sometimes it comes quietly, as doubt returning unexpectedly, as fatigue pressing in again, as emotions flaring without clear reason. You may think, I thought this was getting better. It is. But this is the last attempt to pull you back. The enemy will test your decision. He will test whether you truly mean it. He will bring back familiar thoughts, reintroduce old temptations, reopen doors you just closed, not because they have power, but because he hopes you will doubt your progress. Do not be surprised. Awareness removes fear. Do not fight, stand. This is important, my child. You do not overcome this season by fighting harder. You overcome by standing steady, standing in truth, standing in obedience, standing in closeness. Resistance weakens when you stop reacting. How to stand firm. When doubt whispers, listen to truth. When fear rises, return to stillness. When confusion tries to speak, pause. You do not need to answer every thought. You do not need to explain every feeling. Stillness is strength. This resistance will not last. This push will pass. It always does. Because it has no foundation anymore. The door is closing. The access is fading. The influence is weakening. Do not retreat now. I am with you in this moment. You are not standing alone. I am beside you. I am before you. I am within you. This moment will not defeat you. Will confirm you. What comes after you stand. My beloved child, now that you have chosen to stay, now that you have stood firm, something holy begins to unfold. Not loudly, not suddenly, but deeply. Restoration does not rush in like a storm. It settles like morning light. Your spirit begins to breathe again. You may not notice it at first, but slowly your breathing deepens. Your thoughts quiet. Your emotions soften. The constant tension you carried begins to loosen. This is not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer carrying it alone. Strength returns gently. Strength does not come back as adrenaline. It comes as endurance. You find yourself responding instead of reacting, pausing instead of panicking, trusting instead of assuming the worst. This is renewal. Your heart becomes softer, not weaker. As restoration flows, your heart begins to soften, not into vulnerability without wisdom, but into openness without fear. You allow yourself to feel again, to hope again, to trust again, carefully, prayerfully. Softness does not mean exposure. It means healing. Clarity replaces confusion. Confusion fades as clarity grows. Not all at once, but enough to move forward without anxiety. You begin to sense what is for you and what is not, what to release and what to hold. Peace becomes why, our guide. What was lost is not forgotten. I restore in ways you cannot predict. You are covered. You are ready. My beloved child, this is where the weight lifts. Not because the journey ends, but because you are no longer walking uncovered. What I began by warning, I now complete by sealing. You are sealed in peace. The fear that once chased you no longer has permission. Peace is not the absence of battle. It is the presence of my authority within you. You are not entering what comes next exposed. You are entering covered. Covered in wisdom. Covered in discernment. Covered in grace. The enemy's access is cut off. What once reached you easily will now be stopped. Not because you became stronger alone, but because you stayed close. Doors that led to confusion are closed. Voices that drained you are quieted. Patterns that weakened you are broken. This is not coincidence. This is consequence of obedience. Your steps are ordered. You will feel it. A calm confidence. A quiet certainty. A steady assurance beneath your feet. You may not see the full path, but you will see the next step clearly. And that is enough. You are being sent forward, not pushed. I do not rush you. I release you. You move now with awareness instead of anxiety, with discernment instead of doubt, with trust instead of fear. What is ahead will not overwhelm you, because you will not walk into it alone. Remember this when the noise returns. There will be moments when the world grows loud again. When it does, return to stillness. Return to my voice. Return to this knowing. You were warned because you were loved. You were shaken because you were protected. You were interrupted because your destiny mattered. This is your promise. No weapon formed against you will prosper. No trap set before you will succeed. No storm approaching you will overtake you. Not because life will be easy, but because you will be guided. You are not the same. You cannot go back to who you were. Your eyes are open. Your spirit is awake. Your heart is anchored. You are sent forward with clarity. Stay with me. Walk with me. Listen quickly. Obey gently. Rest often. I'm not leaving you after this message. I'm going with you. You carry what saved you. My beloved child, now listen carefully, because something has changed. You are no longer only the one being rescued. You are becoming the one who carries light. What I have done in you was never meant to stop with you. You carry discernment now. You will notice things others miss. Not out of suspicion, but out of sensitivity. You will feel when something is off. You will sense when a door should not be opened. You will recognize when silence is safer than speech. This is not fear. This is wisdom formed through intimacy with me. Your testimony has weight. Your story matters. Not because it is dramatic, but because it is real. The places you nearly broke. The moments you felt unheard. The seasons you survived quietly. Those are the places where my grace met you. And one day when someone stands where you once stood, your words will steady them. You are being trusted with influence. Influence does not always look like a platform. Sometimes it looks like a listening ear, a calm presence, a word spoken at the right moment, a refusal to join darkness, a choice to respond with love. You influence simply by being aligned. Guard what you carry. Not everything deserves access to you. You do not owe everyone your energy. You do not need to explain every boundary. You do not need to prove your growth. Protect your peace. Protect your time. Protect your connection with me. This is stewardship, not selfishness. You will still need me, and that is the point. Do not confuse commissioning with independence. You are sent, but never separated from me. When you feel unsure, return. When you feel strong, stay humble. When you feel weary, rest in me. This is your charge. Walk gently. Speak truthfully. Love deeply. Listen quickly. Forgive freely. Obey promptly. And when the world tests you, stand anchored, not hardened. I am with you, not behind you, not waiting ahead. With you. In every step, in every choice, in every season. You are not wandering. You are walking with purpose. My beloved child, hear this carefully. I did not awaken you to make you fearful. I opened your eyes so you could walk securely. Alertness is not anxiety. Awareness is not panic. Fear rushes. Wisdom rests. You are not called to constant tension. You do not need to scan every moment for danger. You do not need to question every person. You do not need to live braced for impact. That is not faith. That is exhaustion. True spiritual alertness is calm. It listens without rushing. It discerns without accusing. It responds without overreacting. Peace is your compass. If something pulls you into confusion, urgency, or pressure, pause. I do not drive you with fear. I lead you with peace. When you are aligned with me, clarity will come quietly, not forcefully. You will recognize warning signs without losing rest. I will nudge you when something is off. Not with panic, not with dread, but with a gentle inner restraint, a check in your spirit, a sense to wait, a sense to step back, and you will obey without fear, because you trust my voice. You do not need to fight every battle. Some things are not meant to be confronted. They are meant to be avoided. Silence is sometimes strength. Distance is sometimes protection. Letting go is sometimes victory. You do not prove faith by standing in harm's way. You prove faith by listening. Rest is part of readiness. Do not mistake rest for vulnerability. A rested heart hears more clearly than a tired one. Protect your sleep. Protect your stillness. Protect your quiet time with me. This is not withdrawal from life. This is preparation for it. You can enjoy life again. You are allowed to laugh. You are allowed to celebrate.